All right. The challenge of the focus for the month of November for my Cancers, we do have a person. We've got the Knight of Wands. So this could be a fire sign energy, someone who resonates with fire sign energy in your life. Aries, Sag, or Leo, maybe their sun or rising sign, or just the way they act. With the Knight of Wands, this is normally somebody 35 or younger, if you know, or somebody who acts with that level of maturity, 35 or younger. Very impetuous, a risk taker. This is somebody who's very active, somebody who may be very much involved in physical activity, sports. They may do a physical kind of job. They're not, I mean, they can't do office work, but I mean, they do tend to be a little bit too restless for that. If they were in an office job, it would involve like marketing, getting the word out, some sort of action, calls to action, and things like that. This person's coming up as your challenge, but it's coming up around a new beginning. So this could be somebody, Cancer, that you're wondering if you should maybe be in a relationship with them. Maybe they want to be in a relationship with you, but you may be thinking with this energy, it's a little incompatible. And you would probably be right. Just in a very general way, fire and water, unless you've got a lot of fire in your chart, Cancer, which many of you probably do, and then it would be a different story. But it's very different energy, fire and water. So not that it can't work, but it would be a bit of a challenge, just because you tend to come at the world and view it in different ways through different lenses, but that's a challenge in any relationship. So don't ever write people off just because of their sign, because we're all more than one sign. We're all made up of a full astrological chart. Now, this could also be a child or someone younger than you who is setting off maybe on a risky venture. They're starting a new business. They may be making an investment that you're feeling, I don't know about this. I feel like some of you, this is a son or daughter. These court cards can be male or female in the general readings, but I do feel like this could be like a son, a daughter, a younger sibling that you feel is getting involved in a relationship or getting involved with somebody who is manipulative or maybe not the best for them. And it kind of comes out of nowhere. So if you haven't heard about this yet, or if maybe you haven't, this person's been maybe a little scarce, you haven't, their communication has maybe been a little out of whack. Inconsistent, or maybe they've kind of like fallen off the face of the earth, something of that nature. You may find out it's because they've jumped into this new relationship, or but yeah, I feel like many of you, you're not really going to care for whoever this person's getting entangled with. Now, if this is somebody that you are getting involved in a relationship with here, Cancer, and those of you that are single, you could very well be meeting this fire sign, but there is this manipulative feminine energy coming up around them. So again, it could be male or female, but it is somebody who is still trying to control them. So maybe a controlling ex, somebody they co-parent with, yeah, an ex-wife, an ex-husband, an ex, I feel like for most of you it's an ex-wife, or yeah, an ex-girlfriend that's just a very manipulative, controlling energy. Now, Cancer, some of you could be this energy. You could be coming up as this. I gotta keep it real. These general readings, for some of you, these energies are going to be applying to you, this sign I'm reading, and for others of you, it's going to be other people in your life. But if this is somebody that you're just like, I'm unsure about them, you may be a little, you know, manipulative, maybe as far as how you're handling them. I don't think you're doing it on purpose for most of you. You know, for others of you, maybe you are just like jump on a whole bunch of people, but this person doesn't know. Maybe you're seeing other people. So With the rune of disruption around, I would say you may want to go ahead and be as honest as possible in November, Cancer, if you're juggling more than one dating partner, because it does seem like somebody's going to find out about the other one and not be happy. You could be finding out that this person that you're... Knight of Wands, again, very impetuous. They're in love with love. So once the newness or the, you know, that fun honeymoon phase of a relationship wears off, keeping them hooked can be difficult because they're always kind of like chasing that high of, you know, when love is new and wonderful. And that just, you know, the reality of life is eventually that wears off and you have to get down to, well, what are we left with? Is there anything there? Are we compatible? Are we good partners in other ways? Are we friends? Do we even like each other? These may be some questions that you or someone else, maybe you're telling this to someone else, like, what do you have in common with this person? I mean, after this attraction is worn off or the new love phase we have left. So, but yeah, surprises, secrets coming out from either someone else or someone connected to you. Now, if this is somebody new in your life, you could, you know, you could find out they've got this ex. You could find out this person isn't even an ex. This happens all the time on dating sites. People put that they're single or separated, but they're really not. So make sure, Cancer, you do your due diligence on finding out everything you can about new people that are coming into your life in November to maybe kind of avoid some of this chaos or these surprises. Now, in the present energy, we do have the Six of Cups. And so for some of you, this will be whenever you're watching this video. For others of you, it'll be end of October going into November. Six of Cups is all about nostalgia and the past, connections to the past lives, or the past in this life, and kind of looking back fondly. So for some of you, this is, again, your children, one of your kids that is going through something, or a younger sibling, a younger cousin, somebody that you kind of feel like you're looking after or that needs looking after. This is someone who may feel opposed by the group, or they may feel kind of left out of the family group. Maybe it's like we were close when we were younger, but now we've drifted apart, maybe because of this influence in their life. Or, you know, it could be a friend that, you know, they've gotten into this relationship and they've drifted away and you're concerned about them. But maybe the whole group, the whole friend group doesn't really like the new person they're with and they feel ostracized. It could be you, Cancer. Maybe your friends don't, or family don't really like this new person you're seeing. Maybe they're just getting a vibe. Maybe they're picking up on something you're not picking up on. Because when you're in it, we miss a lot of the red flags, right? We just do. We put on our rose-colored glasses and we don't want to see that. So maybe you've ostracized yourself because I don't want to hear that. I don't want to, you know, and a lot of times most times this is coming from love. People are concerned about you. They don't want to see you get hurt. They don't want to see you. It's not that they don't trust your choices, but they just know. Maybe they're like, you know, I was in this too and I didn't see it until it was too late. So you do have to kind of take it with a grain of salt here. And weigh up what you know about, you know, the people around you. Do you have mostly good people around you, or do you have just bad people around you that would try to sabotage you? If that's the case and you're finding out, then some of you will be justified in disregarding their energy or disregarding their advice. But with this controlling, manipulative energy that was coming up as your challenge, I do think maybe for many of you, it's something that you're not seeing. Or someone close to you is not seeing about someone they've hitched their wagon to. This could also just be a longing for someone who's drifted away here. Cancer, it doesn't have to be that there's stuff coming up about this. Maybe you're just thinking about them there at the end of October and November. Maybe it's an anniversary or something. Maybe they are, you know, there's something coming up that makes you think of them, and oh, this was the date that we did that, or you know, a few years ago, this is where we, or when we were younger and lived at home, this is what we would do on Halloween, or you know, Thanksgiving, or whatever. Maybe that's it. It's just, you know, somebody's not at Thanksgiving because they feel ostracized or opposed in some way, or that they're not welcome, and so Thanksgiving is different. It's not the way it used to be when you were kids, or when you were younger, or when they were younger, if this is your own child. So yeah, lots of themes of family, which I mean isn't surprising since we do have Thanksgiving in November. A lot of things coming up about who's drifted away, who are we no longer on good terms with, and why, and is there a way to rectify that or fix that? The help that's going to be available. We've got the Two of Wands in reverse as the tarot card here, so let's see what's going on. Well, this is somebody ending a negative partnership. Twos are all about partnership. Two of Wands for me, if it's like an emotional relationship, this would have been based purely on the physical or purely on sex. And it just didn't have the basis to last. It didn't have the staying power. Like we were talking about before. That wears off, right? That's part of the in love with love stuff, is the strong physical attraction. And once that wears off, what are we left with? Well, we don't have anything in common. So Cancer, if this is you, you know, involved with this fire sign, or maybe if you feel like you've been lied to, or yeah, they've got this ex crawling out of the woodwork, or, you know, I feel like your help is going to be to end this. I think that, and it may not be pleasant. Just because it's coming up as the help doesn't mean that something is going to be a pleasant experience, but it means that it's for our greater good, right? I mean, you can be strung along by this person for however long you want to, but why waste all that time? Why waste all that energy? Why waste all of your emotions on that? But yeah, Rido in the reverse is telling me here that there's going to be some sort of argument, disagreement, but closing the door on that. So you're either closing the door on the relationship or closing the door on the argument. Now, for some of you, it could be that it's with this person and, you know, yeah, they're the one that's breaking away from this, or, you know, you're arguing over this. You're arguing over this person they're with, and it's like, you know, why do you want to stay with somebody who's lied to you or done this to you, or who is manipulating you, or has caused you to kind of totally isolate or close off from those closest to you? Why do you want to be with that sort of person? I feel like Cancer, if for those of you that this is someone that you care about close to you and you're kind of giving them advice or given the opportunity to talk to them, I feel like what that there may be an argument, and you may have to, you know, just kind of lay it out there like true, because they're in the wrong, somebody's wrong-minded, being wrong-minded, stubborn about something, and it's just not the truth. And so it could fall to you, Cancer, in November to be like, no, they're not ostracizing you. You've ostracized yourself because this person has convinced you somehow that people who have always loved you are somehow your enemies. I just get this feeling that somebody's like cut off from everybody, but they're blaming the group. They're blaming the family. They're blaming the friend group. Which, I mean, maybe one or two people in the group could have handled things differently, but I feel like the group was actually seeing things correctly in most cases. Again, this is a general reading. So, I mean, if this is what you're dealing with, Cancer, and you really want some specific direction, definitely get in touch with me. We can take a look at how this is breaking down in the specifics for you and who you are and where you're at. Because, see, I'm just getting the general ball of energy for November for so many people. And this is the theme, but I can't see where each of you are within this ball of energy. So that's the best way I can describe how these crazy YouTube humongous audience general readings work. But yeah, something needs to end. And you may have to be the bad guy, Cancer. That's okay. Because it's coming up as a help, not just to you to kind of get this off your chest and be like, okay, I did everything I could do. I laid it out there on the line. You don't have to be mean about it, but you do have to be honest about it. It's time to speak the truth, whether this person wants to hear it or not. You know, people usually don't want to hear the truth, really. Because they would rather live in their little daydream with their little rose-colored glasses and go on pretending that something or someone is what they are not. So, Cancer, it may fall to you to either end a situation that someone is kind of stringing you along with, or speak the truth so that someone else will later, even if they don't do it in November, whatever you say is going to carry some weight. And even if they cut off from you because of what you're saying, Cancer, if that's what's been holding you back from saying this, well, I don't want my kid to cut off from me, or I don't want, well, I mean, would you rather that, or would you rather them like continue getting deeper and deeper into this relationship with this toxic person? What's going to help them the most? I feel like even if they don't speak to you, you've got Aiwass here, which is saying this is supposed to happen. This relationship is going to be protected. It's going to stand the test of time. Your goal, whatever your goal is with what you're saying, is protected and will take root. So even if they don't reconcile with you for a while, or even if you have to kind of sacrifice having a relationship with them for a while, your words are going to echo. It's going to carry some weight. And when they see this behavior or see what you're talking about in this other person, it's going to register at the right time and be a help to them. And a help to you that you didn't kind of play along and act like something was okay when it's not. Now, what must be accepted about November? We do have the Ace of Wands in reverse. So, you know, I think many of you are just exhausted. This is like, you're worn out, maybe from work, the year in general. You may be feeling emotionally drained due to everything that's been going on this year. Yara is here, though, indicating that as we enter harvest season, which is the fall, and here in the Northern Hemisphere, that's September 21 to December 21, it's going to be a good time of harvest for you, Cancer. So if you can get rest in November, if you can take time off for Thanksgiving, if you can maybe take that whole week off or take a little break, it would be wise to do so and just kind of get some rest, catch up on sleep, get your bearings. But Ace of Rods is kind of, it's something that we were trying to maybe get off the ground, or something that we thought you would be actively pursuing or taking action on, and it's just, it may just require going back to the drawing board and figuring something else out, but it is kind of feeling a little bit like, oh man, why didn't this work? So it could be talking about, again, going back to what we were talking about before, this person in your life or this relationship that you thought was going to be a go, or thought that, you know, this person was the one. We always think the person's the one, right? Whenever we're, you know, we'll get one message from somebody, oh, this is the one, you know. We always kind of go into that thinking that. And there's nothing wrong with that, but it does kind of put pins a lot of hopes on one message, right? So, doesn't mean, try not to get discouraged, Cancer, is what I'm trying to say. Try not to get discouraged, no matter what kind of relationship this is, whether it's romantic, whether it's a family member, whether it's a kid, no matter who it is, because, you know, you're not going to miss out on anything that's meant for you. You know, it can't happen. Whoever you're supposed to be in partnership with, whoever you're supposed to be married to, whoever you're supposed to be with, whatever job you're supposed to do, whatever business you're supposed to start, that will happen. No one else is going to get what belongs to you. If they do, they won't last long, right? I really think, though, this is just, some of you may be concerned about your health a little bit, or concerned about the health of someone close to you. Some of you may be going after and trying to get like a settlement from insurance costs or something to do with healthcare or a stay in the hospital, you know, and you may be trying to get some sort of payout, and maybe it's going to have to go to court. Some of you may need to speak to a lawyer or talk to somebody. But I mean, with Yara here, it indicates that you would get justice if you have to kind of go to the next step. So for some of you, I feel like this is like, I was hoping we wouldn't have to take it to the lawyer, but they're not going to give us what they owe us, or they're not going to pay us off, or, you know, I'm going to have to go talk to a lawyer. So some of you, it may just be like disappointment that you are going to have to kind of take it to that next level. But this rune ensures a fair decision and yeah, even a payout or a settlement later. Probably before December 21st though, because this is the rune that signifies fall to me. But yeah, I just feel like you guys are kind of drained in November. So it may be a month to take a time out. The outcome of these energies, or the month here, is the Death card. So transformation, big changes are coming. I feel like this is kind of a wiping the slate clean energy, Cancer. For November, it's like you got to kind of tie up these loose ends, get this out of the way so you can forge ahead. Some of you may be dealing, because we have these other health runes here, maybe you lost someone recently. You know, death can mean physical death, but you know, it's not going to be you, Cancer. Otherwise, how would this benefit you? You know, I never like to predict death, but I do have to throw it out there that this could be. And it's like the family are going to try to get some sort of legal recourse, either in like, you know, for the hospital stay. Maybe this person didn't have enough money to cover their funeral expenses or their hospital stay or their hospital bills. And so now got to kind of try to figure out how all of this is going to get paid for. And that could explain maybe the family dissension and people like, oh, we're not going to pay that. We're not going to do this. Da, 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 da. Or, you know, that's mine, or, you know, there is this kind of energy of if someone passes that everybody's like, this is mine, this is mine, this is mine. And that's unfortunate. It's unfortunate that humans are ruled more by greed than care for each other. It's not a spiritual way to be, but it's when those baser sides of human nature come out when someone passes away, and you know, people start scrambling. So you could be dealing with that. It could be really bringing out, Cancer, like the sides to people that you've never seen before, and you just may be like, wow, I didn't realize you were this nasty, or I didn't realize you were this greedy or selfish or yucky. But some of you may not be surprised. Some of you may not be surprised. It's like, here we go. I knew this would happen as soon, you know. I knew that side would come out. So, but I do feel like for those of you that this is not that, it is just kind of like November's a month of wrapping things up, getting ready to completely go into Scorpio time. We do go into Scorpio end of October into mid-November. So once we're out of Scorpio, this phase may be wrapped up, or at least all of this energy will be done. So yeah, as we move into Sagittarius and Capricorn, you know, the end of November and through December, something is completely transforming in your life, Cancer, but it's like these ends or these energies have to be kind of tied up and taken care of before you can move into that phase.